No, it won't. I've got no stream key. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 2 Season 2. Unbelievable. I was panicking for a second because I didn't actually put a stream key in, but it appears that the stream key is exactly the same one as before, so well, I won't panic about that one anymore. I am joined for this opening show by the wonderful Mr. Stephen Wright. Good evening.
Good evening, mate. Interesting to see how some of these squads shape up after the changes.
Completely new season. I noticed that you're talking to yourself, saying good evening to yourself in the chat there. Fantastic.
I was talking to Fifey with his Viennese World at the ready.
5 feet is there with his Viennese Worlds and his salt and pepper wrapping going on for us tonight. Absolutely perfect. Tato is here. Mike Savage is here. And you know what? It is great to have Tato joining Division 2 this season.
Yeah, obviously the squad is obviously a little bit. I don't think it's too much weaker than previous. I know him and Scott have got a decent squad together. I do find that this Division 2 is going to be really balanced. It's going to be really good to see the fighting for it. I do think there's a slight favourite looking at all the squads, followed by a close second favourite for me. But the rest of from them two down, it's going to be a great battle to see who finishes up there.
Oh, well, we will go into a little bit more on that in a bit. We've got El Champino here again, who's assistant manager this year. Despite the fact he won't have an official assistant manager, one of his coaches will have the nickname of El Tel in there for his Falaraki 96ers that we have this season in Division 1. Dimble's here, and also we have Dimble in Division 2 this year with us there. Fifey asking if he's second favourite for the division.
Well, we'll come to that when them teams are talked about. Yeah,
It will be interesting. We have Mr. Greaves here, your opponent for tonight, with his Boston side up against your team with the wonderful name of Esporting Clube d'Originale. Your team there, isn't it, with the Portuguese pronunciation to that side?
indeed, mate. And I do place this Boston team as second favourites for the league, by the way.
Aha. Well, it'll be interesting to see who you do put up there. I think it is a strong team. I think it's definitely got a good chance. I don't think anyone's going to run away with it. I don't even think two teams will run away with it, in my opinion. So we shall see what's going on here. What else have we got? We've got Jim from round here who took a promotion this season because they've gone for a squad that is actually strong enough to compete up there in Division 1. And yeah, why not? So around here, promoted to Division 1 for this season. Mr. Smuts is here, General Smuts. What's the wooden spoon prize? I think it's immense pride, isn't it? Finishing last is quite an achievement, so it's all good fun to do. So who else is on tonight? So being banned from night one. Yeah, banned from night one. Yeah, the team didn't get through in the cup in the fixtures we couldn't play ourselves. Yeah, this is a weird one in Sweden that the cup starts halfway through at the beginning of the season, finishes mid-season, and then a new cup starts that we don't finish. So basically, take the second cup you get as a chance to play a few friendlies and experiment a little bit. And we're also joined by Scott as well. Scott's here, assistant manager of Badgers, so and of course manager of Bostock in the Super League. So great to have so many people in tonight. I think we shall get going on with our first game. We will save your match till the end, and it'll be nice to see what else goes on with these. So we start off with that one. Brilliant. We start off then with who's here. Let's kick off the season with Sprungfeld United. I think it's worth starting off with that, with Mike Savage's team, as soon as he's here. And let's see what is going on here. So obviously the theme of The Simpsons, of course. And looking into the squad, looking at who isn't playing, you can tell that what he is putting out for tonight in the Cup is a reserve team.
Yeah, most definitely. There were a couple of players there that that will be, there will be a danger in here. But he's also got quite a few players there that they're going to be interesting to see how they go on as well. I like look of a few of his players, and I did see his tactic earlier, and I think that's
something very different, isn't it? So, I mean, technically, no centre backs is I think it's a first to see a side there with no centre backs, a sweeper, a left back, and a right back, fitting the rules, of course, with the wide players and the three at the back. In fact, having 4 wide players in this. So, Roger Myers in goal there with Apu and Fat Tony. So some great players, yeah. I mean, what are you predicting from this side?
I think once the league starts and they put the full side out, and I know Mike's is quite fond of messing about with his tactics as well. I think they're going to be, again, one of them sides that have got potential to be squeezing up there if they're a really good run of form. But this you're saying it's a first playing no centre backs. I'm pretty sure it'll be a last as well.
Yes, saved for the cup there against the Valentuna. So will there be something fishy about his formation? We shall see. Yep, Nedved is there for Ned Flanders indeed. Lenny, the Carbon Rod, Carl Carlson, and Jeff Whitley being the comic book guy, and of course Chris Homer and Sideshow Bob Peters up front. And of course Eddie at the back there. Very inventive indeed. Predictions from the chat. We've got 20-0 from Mike. I'm sure he's extremely confident with his side for tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got enough going forward to score goals, especially I didn't actually see whether it were non-league opposition or not, but it's just that no centre backs malarkey just might find him in a little bit of trouble. But I think he will. I think he should go through in this round.
Well, let's check what the opponents are doing. I mean, they've even picked themselves a Bart for this game. Bartosz Grzelak in the team. So he'll be playing in the side. Matt Holm as captain. I mean, you get a centre back there with 3 for tackling. So not amazingly confident at this team. And then the great named substitute there, Grell. Thomas Grzelak, which means he must be related to Bart there as well.
Yeah, some strange names. That's the good thing about playing these. Obviously, the low Swedish leagues are not somewhere anybody delves into too much, so it's always nice seeing a few of these inventive names pop up when we do come round at cup time.
Certainly are very inventive, aren't they? And as it's just Sprungfeld that is our team, we'll watch their stats as we go through the game. Predictions there, we've got 4-1 from Tato, 4-2 from Champino, 7-1 from Jim, 6-2 from Fifey, 9-6 from Smuts. Scott also going 4-2 and Dimble going 6-1. The home kit you'll see now is it's pink with yellow there. Fifey, home kit pink with yellow. Anyway, let's get us going. And the early start is quiet, certainly, and the attack more coming from Valentuna. But starting to head forward, Benny Carbone with a close chance. Bob Peters putting one over the bar. And they are starting to come into this. Nedved nearly getting one, but Valentuna, it's disallowed. Valentuna did take the lead. And it could have been a shock of Dangley's proportions coming off the opening game. 35 minutes in, still 0. Oh, and there we are. It's Björn Karlsson scoring the opening, but an equaliser straight afterwards. 1-1. And as the first half comes to a close, it's 2-1 We have a goal there from Lenichev. So Carl and Lenny both scoring goals. Superb. Now, let's just take a little look at this guy in the crowd. I mean, this guy in the crowd, it would strike me as someone exactly who Graham Symington would look like.
Well, I'm sure we'll make a couple of appearances throughout the season, I would have thought.
Yes, he'll be absent tonight. This guy's really enjoying himself. I cannot imagine someone less excited about it. And then do you remember that guy at the Euros? Was it the Swiss guy?
Who was crying and then screaming?
Yeah, it's him, but without the beard and glasses. But that's his sort of thing going on. Anyway, so first half, very, very solid. Mike's got the opportunity to make his substitutes. We got Apu down on 83. Is he injured? Yes, a foot injury. We've then got Carboni on 83 as well. That's a knee injury. And Elenichev doing just fine. I mean, what do you make of the first half?
Yeah, I think I would have been inclined to go with the calls that were 4-2, actually, just with that openness at centre half. Scott's asking if I've got a chance to win a game of champion. No, I haven't, Scott. I played it about 12 times and won once championing it. So, but no, I think what we expected going forward, they had enough to score goals. It's just if we can carry on keeping them out, which, like I say, I do fancy Valanciunas for another goal, but I do think they'll be too strong and nick another one or two themselves.
Nick another one or two? Yeah. I think scoring 4 wouldn't be too much of a surprise based on the first half. When they got attacking, they did a decent job. And in fact, as we bring on Bleeding Gums Danny Murphy, he comes onto the pitch. 7 shots, but only 3 on target. If they can just start actually shooting on target, they will score plenty of goals.
They've conceded quite a few of them, haven't they? It shows a lack of centre halves. Is a very ballsy move.
Yes. Yeah, at least he sort of treats the cup as a cup. Fantastic. That's what we need. Anyway, second half gets going. And there's been chances, and there we are. Peters getting the goal. It is 3-1. Sideshow Bob. Wonderful. Coming close again, but putting one over the bar. A save from Myers. It did surprise me when I first looked at the lineup and saw that there was no Barthez and no Keane in goal. I thought, they must be going for a reserve team. And of course, looking at how it is almost reserves. Look at Jeff Whitley. I mean, the player retained by Mike from his OT side to come into this one, and he's having a good game.
He's, I think for a lower league save, regardless of how you're playing, his right-hand column's very good, and he did do very, very well last season as well. So that's probably one of the worst sort of versions of him I've seen as well. So fingers crossed for him. He can, if he plays him regularly, his stats might grow a bit through the season. But he's always liable, especially against, let's say, weaker teams, to put some good ratings like that.
No, yeah, I would say he's definitely someone who can, bring a decent performance to most games. We've got a great comment there from Fifey, isn't it? With he's coming with bleeding ears listening to Danny Murphy. Never mind bleeding gums. So the substitute there, Willie Byrne for Tony D'Amico. Oh, you wonder what would happen if Fat Tony was actually taken down at this point in the game. I assume Mike's just making the one sub. I am gonna play on because he's commenting on other things, so I assume it's just the one change for 2 there. Yep, there we go, confirmation. Yes, he does need to see a urologist. Comfortably 3-1 up. Chance there, and Peters scores again. And Carlson has an assist, and he's up to a 10. Now that is quite a good performance for somebody there making a. Wait, is Björn Carlson? He wasn't at Ortiz last season, was he? Björn Carlson. I'm trying to think. There was a Carlson there. Was it him? As the game comes to a close, it is 4-1. I almost said 3. And Peters, with his 10 out of 10, was outdone for man of the match by Carlson. So that's what we're all here for tonight. It is fine. So Carlson, man of the match, attacking mid, right, left. There was a Carlson, but was it Björn?
It might have been that one.
Yeah, it might be a sort of unfixed midfield position, but I might well be wrong. Peters on a 10 with 2 goals, yet competition for Ronaldo coming into next match. Yeah, definitely. And why not? Superb first performance. And Jeff Whitley dropped to an 8, but still had a very, very good game. And, you look at the strongest players in the team. Benny Carbone, 6 out of 10. And Pavel Nedved, 7 out of 10. So he's going to be hoping that some of these players like Harold Apu can come forward and do what they need to do. Great movement for a striker there, but it's a shame he plays in defence.
Yeah, I mean, I am a big fan, especially first season, second season of Benito Carbone. I do think if he does play,
even if you steal his women.
Well, as has been known.
Well, let's move on and see where we go next with this. Oh, we're going to Gondor. Now, this is a team almost picked entirely by the community. So, this season, Swan's been having trouble with his computer. I don't think it's that kind of trouble with his computer. But we've got... he asked the community to come forward with some players and wanted it to be a totally unique side. And this is what he's ended up with. So let's just take a look at the first team lineup for today. We've got Neville Southall in goal, age 43. The second oldest player, possibly the third oldest player, if Robert Prutz was a bit older, to appear in the Swemp Electronic Football Alliance after the legend Antonio Fortes.
Yeah, I mean, it's no wonder that Neville Southall's agility is one. I remember when I was in sixth form at school, we were obviously at Bradford for that little spell, and he made his debut against Leeds. And he turned up while we were playing the school he were working at, due to their head of PE was something to do with Garth Football Club, I think. And he got him down.
Is it Simon Clifford or something like that?
Simon Clifford, indeed, yeah. And I tell you what, I've never seen a man fill an open double door as much in my life as Neville Southall did.
Fifey feels less connected to this squad. I mean, I feel more connected to this squad. I suppose I did have a bit of a few names put into this one. Sam Pam coming forward there, the Nigerian, also known as Sam Pam Jr. is his real name there. Someone who has been spoken about tonight on Twitter. Also there, Chris Perry. Vokolos, I think that he could add something to this. He looks pretty strong, doesn't he? I've not seen him before, to be honest, I must admit.
No, there is a couple of names there that I'm not overly familiar with as well, and Vokolos for one of them. But yeah, it does look, especially for the level of teams that are in this division this year.
He should fit right in there. He should fit in there. I mean, if anyone recommended it, might have been Tato and someone else. I'm not entirely sure, but put yourself forward if it was you. This is a Quinton recommendation of Samuel Johnson. Looks pretty solid, but I mean, lots of 11s. If they weren't 11s and just 9s, it wouldn't look so impressive, would it? But it's decent. Again, we've got Barron, another one that was a selection from Quinton. It plays pretty much everywhere. A Brazilian based in Japan.
Which is a couple, isn't there?
Yeah, Aragon. I didn't know about Santiago Aragon either, but he was recommended for this one. Again, sort of, will do a decent job. Kearney Owan was someone I put forward for him, just based on the fact that he's always been a high goal scorer, but I've never ever signed him. Now, to one of Tato's favourites there, Frusini. And
yeah, indeed.
See how he can do with this. I mean, putting him up front with Carl Leeburn is an absolute masterstroke. Look at those stats there. 19 aggression, 20 bravery, 19 determination, 20 heading, 20 strength, 19 work, 19 teamwork, but nothing else. He tries really hard. He tries really hard, but can't do it.
Yeah, it were a bit of an handful in real life at times, wasn't it? So
yeah. I think he played something like 500 games and 60 odd goals in his career or something like that for a striker. So about a 1 in 8 striker.
All for the team.
Aragon was a Mike suggestion. Yeah, see what he does. And Ricardo Gardner getting in there, which will please Ryan, of course, if he watches this season. Shea Hess was one of my selections there. Keeper, also plays midfield. Ricardo Bango, just liked his name, so I thought, yeah, let's put him forward. Then
He's actually reasonable, Bango.
Kenny Lunt, there he is, back in for a second season, but moved from Fortuna to Gondor. Schwenk, everyone likes it. Then basically this Swemp and something else mixed together, I guess. And Leon Kelly recommended for up front, so he can run, he can finish. Let's see what he can do.
He can get goals. He can be reasonable, can Leon Kelly.
And let's have some predictions, from yourselves and from the chat.
Yeah, another comfortable win. I'm going to say 4-0 because I think looking at Bokalos and obviously Chris Perry is very, very good, very underrated on the game, I think, by people. And so, yeah, they've got a little bit of a wall there to break down. So 4-0.
4-0. Torslander, we'll have a look at Torslander before this game, see how it goes. 5-1 says Jim. Fifey giving me a warning about this potential spoonerism with Lenny. And 2-0 he says. Mike going 3-1. Smuts going 0-0. Dimble 2-0 and Champignon 3-0. These are, of course, all in favour of Gondor rather than me actually saying 0-3, 0-2, whatever. Left out the team, Jason McAteer, Batata, who was someone I've found but only played 1 or 2 matches with him ever. Chris Hope looks a very strong player. Diop, who I know he's someone who Quinton, I think Tato and myself all know he can get pretty good over the few seasons, but there aren't seasons to play. Palmo Ducar suspended, probably would have got in the team. Taka Mustafa, very underrated player, I think, Taka Mustafa.
He's always one at first to go if I ever start with
you get rid of him. So, he's good. He is a good player. Lelatovic seems alright, but again full of 10s. But it's a Quinton suggestion. And Leon Britton completes the lot as the Gondor player who should have been in Gondor last season. Anyway, so auto squad numbers on these, and we'll get Carl Lieber, the number 11. Looking into the opponents, Stockhouse. Sounds a bit like a sort of suggestion of, I don't know, just a cupboard, basically, or a warehouse.
Definitely something you can buy at IKEA, anyway.
Larry's brother, Andreas Hagman, he's in the team there. And then Kondawani Kalamanjira sounds superb. I'm hoping for him to do something decent there. Anyway, let's get this one underway, and I'll stop yapping on. Well, quick start, and look at that. Barron down the wing, and Carl Lieburn scores. It's 2-0 through an Aragon assist and a Samuel Johnson finish. This is quite the start. Just less than 10 minutes in, and they are dominant here. It's that's enjoyable. That shows that the people have been supporting Swan with his selection for this team.
No, definitely. It's nice to see him getting some results from players. I think he said he were only aware of 8 when I saw earlier. So
I think he'll be certainly pleased with how some are going. Aragon's putting some passes in. Others are trying to catch him up. It's been a quiet rest of the half. But Chris Perry's just hit the crossbar. And they've looked dangerous when they've attacked, but haven't attacked as much as they could have. They hit the bar again. And Kerniowan puts in a rebound, and it's 3-0 heading into half-time. Superb work for Gondor. That is probably more than last season's Gondor scored in any match.
Yeah, it's very, very solid half. It shows, apart from Chris Perry, none of the defenders have had out to do as well. So it's they've kept them well and truly at bay.
And Smuts says he doesn't think it'll be 0-0 anymore. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. They've done a decent job. There are no recommendations of substitutes, but at 60 minutes, with it being the cup, I will do some and just get them going. Carl Lieburn there, 86%. Is he lacking fitness? Yeah, potentially injured. In fact, let's get him off at half time and give Schwenk a half. He might move off later on and bring Leon Kelly on, but let's get Schwenk onto that pitch. Frusini can play either side. Schwenk's more lefty, So let's go ahead with that. Oh yeah, I think Gondor might have scored 3. You're right there. Frankie Gondor might have scored 3 and won 3-2 when you were in charge, but that would probably be it. So anyway, this is probably Swan's best result so far. Second half, and Swemp has come on. Let's see how we get on. Oh, Schwenk's had a chance straight away into the half. They're still looking good for their attacks. Can they make it 4 or such like? Let's make a... Oh, Torslander have pulled one back going into this bit, and not many people said that they would score. Jim's still on for a 5-1. I think he might be the only person who can get his prediction right. Let's take a look at the stuff going on here. Baron, 84. He's all right. Is there anyone underperforming? No. In fact, let's just make one more change. Baron can play either side, can't he? So I think Ricardo Gardner is quite likely to play next game. He doesn't always have necessarily the. He's a little bit injury prone. Let's take him off anyway. Let's bring on Leon Kelly and do a few changes around. So let's see these sort of things happening. Schwenk moving back. Would you make a third sub or leave it at 2?
I think you'd always run at risk of being liable of a goalkeeper injury or something like that if you do shoot your load a bit too early.
Yeah, Baron is a good player to have in the team, isn't he, with that versatility of playing almost anywhere. I don't think he can play defensive mid, which would be why he's given attacking mid rather than defensive mid on that one. So I think defensive mid must be his only position that he can't do. Let's see how they get on in the last part of this game. It's definitely Torslander coming back a little bit and Neville Southall having to do some work. He's doing his captain responsibility fairly well. Vokalos has dropped down to a 5 at this point. He hasn't put a tackle in the entire game. And 3-1 is looking pretty good. Of course, Mike's correct at 3-1 so far, and I said Jim was the only one who could get anything started. I thought it was 4 at the time, just for some reason in my head. I think he's going to get the score right. And he is going to get the score right. 3-1. Well done to Mike. Of course, well done to Swan for his team getting started, despite the fact he still doesn't know who most of his players are.
No, it's another solid performance. They obviously took the foot off the gas in the second half, where they didn't need to overexert themselves. But solid, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to getting into the season, getting to know the players a little bit more, and maybe start signing them when he sorts his laptop out.
It's one of those things, isn't it? When if he hasn't seen this team and then he does start to look at them, he could really do something with them this season. They're entertaining. I think that I will look at them as a team that can compete this season, certainly.
Definitely.
Let's see what happens next game. We're still skipping yours. We'll go to Blues. Blues are playing Braga or Braga, whatever they're called. I'm not entirely sure. It might be a silent G, like a lot of words in Swedish. Actually, it could be Braga. I will check that at some point, and no one will care. But anyway, so Blues, champions of last season, after that amazing final day to take the title off Dalgety, but have been kept in Division 2 because of the squad strength of the new squad. And I think that's a wise decision. I gave him the option. He said he was fine either way, but I think based on how Division 1 looks, it's the right place to keep this team. And if they've gone into it with a formation that's different from last season, I think they played the formation that pretty much I'll be using for this season. And this time around, it's a 4-1-2-2-1.
Yeah, there is some strong players in there, but there's also a lot of fanfare favourites in there as well. I'm sure we'll see when it comes to my game a very similar looking full-back pairing. But yeah, it's again, it looks one of them that's strong enough to compete, but like you say, not too strong to be thrown into the upper echelons of Division 1 just to be getting themselves an hiding every week. I think the dark horse in this team, looking at this at the minute for me, could be Aristizabal. I like him. I like him as a player. Sign him quite a lot as a free. He does produce decent numbers. So really interesting squad with some really good attacking talent in it, especially them central midfielders forward. There's a lot of creativity and a lot of goals in them.
There, I think you're absolutely right with that. And looking at the chat, they got Tato and Fifey both saying strong squad. Tato likes the squad. Smuts isn't happy that Neil Scally's in it. Jim also likes the look of them, and Dimble says thoughts on Kovacevic. He comes up as a very, very strong goalkeeper, but I've never seen him. Yeah,
he's on a free transfer at start. I found him actually when I was messing about with that Benidorm save I started earlier. The first time I've seen him, so it's pretty weird that he stumbled across him. But yeah, he's a free transfer at the start.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with how he looks. Actually, he could be one of those players who would fit in a midfield. So you can have a look at that and think, yeah, he could play in the midfield. That not too bad at all. But strong goalkeeper. And yeah, the squad is lower league and free transfers generally within this squad. So yeah, Graham Dunning has done a decent job of putting this team together. Predictions?
Well, I certainly think they look very strong here. Probably won't go past a 5 or 6-0, considering who they've got scoring goals potentially for them.
5 or 6, why not? Let's take a little look at the opponents for this one. Dimble saying 4-0. And player ratings. So into the opponents, you've got Anders Sjö. He looks good fun. Sjö, or whatever he's pronounced as. Tato going 6-0. Fifey 5-0. Colo Hallett. I've seen him a few times appear in the English league. He's like for Charlton a strange amount of times.
He does get. I think he has got a potential where he can get very good. I got him on a save somewhere. I think it's a Mechelen save when I'm in Belgium. I think I've got him, and his stats are very, very good.
Is he entirely random on the database, or is he potentially a bit of an Anelka?
I haven't looked. He's always an attacking midfielder, right, left though.
Yeah.
His position.
Yeah, his position is fixed, isn't it? And his potential is -1, -2, whichever. But yeah, I've seen him in some games getting unhappy with teammates and being quite vocal about it.
All right.
You'd expect Frederick Val there. I like the fake sub -2. Thank you, Smuts. So it's good to have someone there waiting in the wings to check that. Notice the fake player on the bench there. Youth player coming through, Peter Kiotis. Yeah, he's come through as a regen onto the game. Fantastic. Great to see this sort of thing happening. Predictions are there. Someone thinks he is scouting him, but yeah, brilliant. It's good. Anyway, let's get this game underway, and it's a very, very quiet start, isn't it? Quarter of an hour in, nothing going on. Chances Nunes Collins. Oh, and an injury to Agostinho. Well, this would probably need to be. I mean, you look at that and think, is it Pruttenon and Clint Hill to left back?
I'd swap Duff to left back and leave Clint Hill where he is, and I'd probably
just play Prutton right back.
Yeah, because he's either-footed and he is.
I think Duff's got something about 5 for left back. But anyway, let's do it. It's a friendly, isn't it? Effectively. I know it's a cup, but it's effectively a friendly.
Although that does mess with my OCD with West being either-footed and Clint Hill playing on right, and that's something.
Yeah, it's one of those strange. I mean, there's no centre back on the bench. There's no centre back who could come in.
No, he's not. He's not either-footed either. Is he? He's right-footed and he's West. I remember right.
Yeah, right-footed. Well, let's do that. Let's put Duff to left back and Prutton to right back, and head on with that. Agostinho will be a miss going forward if you're going to have a bit of an absence. Collins has just put one off target. Nunes chance still coming forward, but this defence are holding out. All our teams so far, of course, if they're division, he needs binning if he's not either side. All our teams, if they're in Division 2 playing against lower league opposition, are playing away, so we're not seeing the new stadiums for today. But we will be seeing a couple of teams with their new grounds, and hopefully I managed to put all the stadium names in at the right time. Anyway, half time, 0-0. Dull.
Very un-Blues like from what we've come to see. I mean, obviously, I know the squad is a hell of a lot weaker, but they're not conceding anything going backwards. I think they're just, again, playing that lower league side. I think they'll definitely come out and win the game, especially with Braga not creating anything whatsoever.
Yeah, I do realise I haven't been checking match stats much during this set of games, so apologies for that. I'll make sure I do those more often. Duff's passing's been pretty solid. You do feel like moving him to left side, you lose a bit of his ability, but that's not costing them a goal here. What's costing them is it's just not working out so far. But we've got to 60 minutes. We've already made one sub, so let's go on to 60 home fans begin to brag about the clean sheet. Fantastic. Yes, there's a bit of David there going on in the team. Interestingly enough, I was in an escape room yesterday that's only a few days before David De Gea had been in, and I can't tell you whether he got in or out, if he got out in time, because I can't remember. Anyway, so let's see what happens in the second half. See, I'm telling you all the best stories, aren't I? 55 minutes in and absolutely nothing going on. Chance for them just before the subs, and Collins it was. A chance again, a free kick given. They need to make a change here, and it might well be Aristizabal. No, he's not injured. Is Collins injured? No. Let's have a little look. He got to rescue United yesterday. Who would you take off at this point? Is it Collins?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the ratings.
He's on a 6.
But he can pop up at any point, can't he, with a goal. But then going into the season, if he's sometimes players, they've got low ratings, are liable to pick up injuries as well at some point, aren't they? So, I certainly won't be taking Aristizabal off. I don't know. Again, Paulo Nunes is doing well. Would put in maybe a Kiko up there, just give him that little bit of extra grunt. But
Kiko playing off there, so I mean, one alternative is, I suppose, to remove someone like Palacios, put Aristizabal a bit further back, and Kiko off the front.
Yeah,
let's do that. Let's take off Palacios. He's not Wilson Palacios, is he? He's never going to be as good as that. There. And they come forward. Oh, and Paulo Nunes has scored. It was good work from Justin Walker before that. But Paulo Nunes has scored the opening goal and just makes him feel a little bit better. Kiko has come close, but he missed the target. And yeah, I think this is certainly, it's livened up the Blues a bit. I don't know whether... I can't imagine them playing this poorly during the season. Although the ratings, to be honest, it's 2-0 now and Aristizabal has his goal, which is great for him. But their ratings aren't too bad, so maybe the opposition have just played well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the dominant what we've come to see against the lower league sides at times, but it's just job done professionally, isn't it?
20 shots, 12 on target, and they've only scored 2, which, Frederick Persson has done a superb job there. And it's great to know that they have a good goalkeeper for their division this season.
Indeed.
Justin Walker, 5 shots, 5 on target. He's absolutely hammering them. Kiko came on, had a couple of shots. Collins improved a bit. So, yeah, I think the substitute that was made was probably the right one to do. And Duff's done a reasonable job playing at left back. So plenty to think about there, but they will do better. They will do better. So Grove, a team that actually looked familiar to us. Can you spot their 4 changes from last season's squad?
Were Yakubu in there last
Yakubu
season?
is new. Yeah. Teddy Sheringham has gone.
And we are looking at Boris Zivkovic.
Zivkovic was there last season. Yeah, he did play. I'll tell you, Matthew Taylor is in, as is, who was the others? Milan Baros and Darren Anderton. And dropped from the squad, Tim Sherwood's gone, David Unsworth's gone, and Eddie Howe have also left the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable looking at the options he's still got and the players he's brought in, probably give him a little bit more. I just think he's got that many striking options. He's not going to know what to do game after game, especially with one up front.
With one up front and no Dario Silva on the bench today, as he was so strong last season in that position. Fifey spotted that Taylor was new. Yep, everyone Portsmouth players, indeed, Smuts. That is the theme of the Grove Imperials team of Stu Fanson. Yeah, so
I would
go on, Steve.
personally be having Curtis on the right of them 3, though, at least. But obviously,
yeah, I couldn't quite work out how it was meant to be. It was done in a message rather than a formation. So it did have the 3 listed from Zivkovic to Campbell, and then the line above it, the line after it had Taylor first. So I've gone Zivkovic first because of that.
Yeah, I just think he's got a single figure heading, if I remember right. You don't want that as your main central half.
Oh, for John Curtis. Yeah, 7. That's a good spot. That I never really checked the price of John Curtis before, and yeah, it's going to be a good one. Yeah, John Curtis. I assume Curtis must have done a loan. D'Alessandro didn't play much, and yeah, I don't remember when Finnan played for Portsmouth. Did he play for them in the Championship?
Oh, I'd have thought it'd have had to be. I'd have thought it'd have been in Premier League after his Liverpool tenure come to an end.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know if we don't have Quinton on tonight, and he'd probably be able to tell us all the answers to these things because
I should actually be knowing, shouldn't I, with who it is? But,
with Steve Finnan. Yeah. Anyway, let's get some predictions and head into this game against the Asylum that they're playing against. Grove used to have squad number recommendations, so I'm just going to check whether Stu's decided to send any in. No, he hasn't this time around. He did have squad numbers last season, but none for this time. Fifey goes 2-1. Oh, Yakubu at Portsmouth was superb, wasn't it? That was where he basically made his name to begin with in the Premier League.
Yeah, he got him his move to Middlesbrough, didn't it? So
Who else have we got in here then? Martin Baumer, the fake player there. Julius Bergkamp, Christopher Collins, Per Collins. This is a good team. Mats Palm. Mats Palm getting a lot of action at the moment, I heard, which is good for him. And Rhodes' grandson Jamie Dahl.
Andreas is from Coventry's cousin. I mean, looking at that, where there's a lot of players unclickable, you should fancy Grove for another comfortable win here, especially.
Yeah, you say a lot of players, all 16. Yeah, they should. Predictions are 2-1, 4-1, 3-1, 2-0 from as much as it was. Yeah, let's have it. See what happens, and good luck to Stu for the season ahead. Asaram's IP. I wonder what their IP address is. Asaram coming forward a bit. Grove, they usually need Dario Silva to rescue them, but we shall see. I thought the team were overachieving in the first half of last season by being about 10th, And then I realised when I checked the strength of the squad that they were about the 5th best in the division. Yakubu has scored, D'Alessandro has scored, and they're hitting most of their shots on target. So Grove should be up there this season. They should have a chance. They are one of the 3 or 4 strongest teams, I believe, in this division.
I just think he's pinning his hopes on some of them creative players being over excelling themselves. I just think it's quite a negative formation with the limitations.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they do have a lot of forwards, but they've opened up the scoring for 3-0 at this point, and it makes you think, is it just because the opponents are so weak, or is this formation going to do this team a good job? Back to Worldie on TV against Derby as I was pouring Ray Parlour a pint. Spilt it everywhere. Pouring Ray Parlour a pint. Now that's it's a lovely bit of alliteration amongst everything there, but a great thought. Crowded pub, Ray Parlour having a pint. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure he'll certainly add more than that one spilt one as well.
And yeah, stat wise, I mean they're doing. Look at the tackles. No one's had to put in more than one tackle.
Well, I mean, like I say, it just shows the limitations of the team that they're playing against.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they've not looked too good. Martin Baumer a 4 at this point, and Palm is really getting to grips with the game up there up front, I suppose. But yeah, I think we'll just leave the team till 60 and head further on. As much as one of 703,457 people to pour Ray Parlour a pint this week.
I think John Curtis has won his only header that he's had to win as well. So,
well, this is a game set up for John Curtis, isn't it? It's a John Courtesy, and it's two for D'Alessandro to make it 4-0, and the subs are going to be made here, and we will make 2 for this side. See how they get on. Anybody lacking fitness at this point? Sol Campbell. Yeah, you can't risk Sol Campbell at this point, can you? So
no, I think it's imperative to. He's going to be critical to if Grove have got any aspirations of doing well this season. He's going to have to play for the majority of the season, I reckon.
Yeah, I know we've got no centre backs on the bench, so I think that this would be a job for Sean Davis. Just come on and defend, just tackle a bit.
Yeah, probably so, mate. I agree.
And how are these doing? Darren Anderton, would you just take him off? Yeah, potential knee injuries. Would you just take him off in case? And there we go. Who do you want? Do you want Berkovic or Barosh?
I was going to say shock horror, really. I'd say Berkovic. Barosh is a striker, isn't he?
He was good last season, Berkovic, as well. I enjoyed watching him play. So let's see how this goes. We've got 3 more matches after this, including both games where the 2 managers are up against each other, and it's a Mega Horses game in the other one. So, Mega Horses game. Speaking in the third person there, clearly.
You're talking about the team, aren't
you? Yeah, Dynamo Mega. Well, I'm going to call them Dynamo. That's what I had them down as. It's 4-0. Can they make it 5 almost, but not quite. 4-0 is solid, and yeah, Stu will be pleased with that. Steve Finnan with his 5 key passes, no assists though, but solid assists there for Taylor on his debut, Yakubu on his debut, and Patrick Berger. Great opening match for Yakubu there, isn't it?
Yeah, he's. I actually like to sign him.
I have just nicknamed him today, which is why he doesn't have the Benny bit. But I've tried to do a bit of cleaning up on names as well, getting rid of some. When some players have middle names that never get called by, like Diego Pablo Simeone, who calls him Pablo at any point. So, yep, the Yak did get fed. And stat-wise, 15 shots, 8 on target. Asaram had a shot from Palm. But Palm with a shot late on, yes. He's probably been working hard to get that out at the end. Anyway, next match, and we'll go to mine because it's the only one where it's the teams not playing each other. So yeah. Anyway, the team. The reason why I'm talking about is it Dynamo is because I did make the team on Pro Evo many years ago as a team called Dynamo Mega Horse. We entered as a proper Sunday League side in 08, 09, I think, in the York Sunday League, and the chairman of the league kept calling us Dynamo Mega Horse, so we just got named like that, and I couldn't be bothered to keep telling him otherwise. So, but yeah, I'm reclaiming the Dynamo Mega Horse. It is a squad made of players entirely from the German leagues. It's mainly the Bundesliga, but Master Echendu is, God rest his soul, is from Division 2. So yeah, it's an interesting sort of side, and this is the formation that we've gone with, same as last season, really, almost the same as last season, but there is a change because last season I played one centre mid, two attacking mids, and this time out I'm just going for four across the middle.
No, it's strong. It's solid. Good spine to it. Obviously, it's without the being two up top and two at the back. It's a very competitive formation to use on a home save, and it's very, very attacking, and especially when you've got all the extra arrows on. So there is a couple of players, obviously, I haven't come across. It's nice to see Matt's Palm won't be crossing Tobias Willie. But yeah, I like formation, I like the attackiness of it, and obviously, even if they do get caught further up the field, your midfielders, you've got the absolute lunatic red card machine to break it all up.
Yes, yeah, Kolozny being there to do his job. Who are you less aware of in the team then?
Tobias Willie for a start. That's why it's and also
stiff
Driller.
Opposition indeed. Driller, yes, he's a striker. He got called up for Germany in the second season in one of my saves. I thought, do you know what, he looks okay. So he's not the best driller I've ever seen, but he'll do a decent job. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of pick a few players that were other than the obvious German ones, Jürgen Kohler aside, really, and Kolozny. The rest of them kind of less well known, but obviously most people do know who they are. Anyway, so let's go to this one. Predictions for this game.
Yeah, another, especially with the attacking formation, another comfortable 4-0. I don't think there's been any team so far that's looked like they're going to really, really run away with a big score line. So we'll go 4-0.
And you know me, I pick my squad numbers. So yeah, you can talk about your own side, Steve, for this season for a little bit. Just sort of come up with, say what you've been doing to come up with your team.
It's mainly players who were absolutely superb on Champ Manager 3. Yes, Richie Wellens is in there, but I do think, especially stat-wise as well, Richie Wellens was still better on Champ Man 3 than he does get on this. So it's just the main cusp of it, really. It were stronger. I still think it'd have been in Division 2 from the first incarnation of it, but then it was sort of, at that point, it were my favourites from 0102, and then my absolute favourites from CM3, but then I decided just to make it more CM3 based. I think the main players who are in my squad that are not CM3 players who will probably play quite a lot now, it's just because I think I really like them and I get really good numbers out of them every time I sign them, is Richard Sadley and Andrew Martin. I think they're I can't even remember seeing either of them on CM3, although they will be there given their ages, I would have thought. But yeah, apart from that, they're all some decent players, and some of them, they don't ever reach the heights of what they did on CM3, so it's just nice to try and get them all together and see if they can. Worth
giving them a go, certainly, and I'm making a live apology to Steve on one of the players in his team. I didn't get I got an initial squad list and he made a few changes, and on one of them was an M. Jurgensen, and I have put in Martin Jurgensen rather than his younger brother Mads. So apologies on that. He's not in the save. So I might actually put a bit of a vote up, Steve. I don't know if you'd be interested in a vote of whether you were allowed to make a transfer into your squad or whether you'd be happy to keep Martin Jurgensen.
Just roll with it, mate.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because it was my error. So.
And no, Fife, no, Mendonca's not in because I weren't aware of Mendonca until during lockdown last year. So no.
Yes, yeah, all right. Then we go ahead with that. I'll speak to you afterwards about it. But yeah, can you try and buy him? He's not in the save. The only Mads in the save is Mads Byerholm, who we'll see later on. Michael Gambon in goal. Is that sort of a fake version of him there? Yeah, Jerkin, Martin Jerkin. He could have been with Palm up front, I suppose, last time.
Anyway. Oh, I'll tell you what then. I'll tell you what, if I'm allowed to make a transfer, there was somebody I did notice that I missed out big time who can play the same position.
Go on.
Tom Young's Cambridge.
If he's in the save, I will put an offer in and I'll make sure that you get hold of him. We'll say Martin Jurgensen cannot be played. Yeah, that way. Brilliant. Okay, so let's go. He looks good. He looks good.
Stat-wise, yeah.
We'll take look at the Mega Horse colour scheme. It is a totally unique colour. I actually had it created for the game. Driller has scored, making it 1-0. It's I just took one of the colours out that nobody's picked, and have turned it into the actual proper Mega Horse colour. Bart Hoare has scored, assisted by Villi and Gramosis so far for the goals. It's looking pretty solid without being spectacular, and it will keep them going for as long as we can remain injury free. Some of the other players will get their chance next game. Jörg Burma is actually a first team player, so we'll have a quick check. Quinton reminded me that the squad shouldn't have needed to auto pick his squad because I put the numbers in on the editor. Yeah, I cleared his squad, didn't I? So I better do something there. Driller's going to come off at half time. Just tell me what you think about the pretty dull first half of Mega Horse.
Yeah, I mean, it's again solid from spectacular, just getting the job done. They're still considering you're not absolutely tearing them apart. There's still quite a few eights in there, and yeah, I fancy it going to get another couple of goals in second half.
Yeah, I mean, should is the key thing. We should get some more goals in the second half. Yeah, Driller will come off, and at this point, Yashvili will get his chance up front. I should probably have picked a second striker on the bench, but no, Yashvili is. We'll do a bit. John Cock is a bit limp at the moment. Yeah, he's not successful with his tackle at the moment. Let's see how they get on for the second half. Quick check at the stats there: 10 shots, 5 on target. That's where we stand at the moment. And a couple of a bit of a card and a bit of aggro going on, but it's still very little in the way of shots. Koluzny had a free kick. It wasn't too bad. Yashvili's had a chance, but still standing at 2-0. I think last time out, Stackington had a 3-0 win in the Cup, followed by a 3-0 win in the next round of the Cup. So, at this point, a second goal would be pretty good for Mega Horse. Just having a quick look at the players, see if anyone's tired or whatnot. Everyone seems okay. Gramosis has been playing well. We'll leave him on. Let's not anger Koluzny by subbing him. So we're going to see the change here of Stefan Beinlich is going to come on for Jörg Alberts in a change of two players who play in exactly the same position anyway, and I was trying to work out who to play. We've got more chances now starting to come, but it's just a very blah 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 kind of match. Turning off the viewers. At least we've got the big games coming up afterwards. We've got Badgers away to Aussie's Dream FC next up, and then your game is the finale. Marcelinho Paraiba scores with a Gramosis assist and makes it 3-0, and yet again a 3-0 win for a team managed by me in the early rounds of a cup.
Well, yeah, again, very solid. Gramosis done extremely well there. He's offered a hell of a lot of threats, so comfortable in knowing it's your players that are not going to be starting mainly in the main. Obviously, you should be pretty confident, especially with level of some of the players from the level they're from, as opposed to the how good they are, shall I say. Again, it shows how competitive it's going to be once we kick the proper league off.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that next time out. Koluzny breaking the 50 pass barrier, successful passes, which is a good sign, but I suppose it should have been a bit further up the pitch at that point. Lots of shots. Any Netflix or Amazon recommendations? Yeah, I'm sure we do. No, anyway, I like Count Arthur Strong. That's why I like watching a bit of that. It's just a light-hearted comedy, just my kind of thing. Probably very dull for everyone else, but who cares? Anyway, looking at this team, Jerkin was one of their stars, and Galambos. So yeah, they were okay, but 3-0 it is. Badgers versus Aussie's Dream, and taking a look at this match here for today. Badgers are at home, aren't they? Yeah, Badgers at home to Aussie's Dream. 16 shots on target, only 3 in. Was that the second? Oh yeah, 3 goals. Yeah, 3 goals during the game. Yeah, it wasn't superb, was it? So I think in most people's predictions so far, including himself, Aussie's Dream would be looking at the bottom end of the table.
On paper, probably so. They've got a couple of strong players in there, just in the bit of a spine. I know Mr. Smuts is absolutely besotted for some unbeknown reason.
Enzo Maresca.
I do miss his streams of trying to sign Maresca and signing Maresca and just giving it large, even if he gets a 6 game in, game out. He's about as determined as, well, I don't even know what comparison to make with it. But yeah, obviously Radwai season 1 though. So
yeah, Radwai's he's a good player. He's one of those that doesn't have a decent can't play centre back. I think it's like 16 for centre back or something, despite being one of his strongest positions. It's an interesting one, and that's why I always find him looked good but doesn't always perform.
No, it makes a bit of sense, does that? But yeah, there's and obviously Dudley's finest playing up top for him, who he got lambasted for getting a game in Super League, but I stand by it, and I will give him a game at some point during the season again, because he might have developed a little bit better as the season goes on in the Chewbacca.
Yeah, well, where is he on Shway? There he is. Yes, he's certainly he's one of those players, isn't he? He will get decent outcomes. I'd expect him to.
Well, he's a -2. He is a -2 potential, so he has got the ability to rocket.
I think he could get double figures this season. I think he will look good for that team. So we've got some X Factor jokes there about Steve Brookstein here up front, and yeah, but then that's my goal. Shane Ward. Oh, Shane Ward, that one. It wasn't Steve Brookstein.
Supposedly last night in a local pub in Bradford that my brother frequents quite often, they actually had Shane Ward's brother singing. Not somebody ever singing, and they were charging £5 a ticket, so it must have been absolute garbage.
Sjoerd Rensen is probably the best goalkeeper in this squad, which is a little bit of an issue. I do need to have a look here before we kick off this match at the reserve team goalkeeper Eble. Yeah, Jan Eble. He's 2 for handling. It just needed to be looked at. It did need to be looked at. Hippie in the squad there, of course, someone to look out for a bit later this season. So it seems a bit of a Tommy Mutton kind of player.
Yeah, is he Alex Waz, or however you spell it, pronounce it, sorry. Same as Chewy, I think he is.
Oh, Les Shows or whatever they are. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's one of there as well. So he's obviously a real fan of tearing their team to shreds. I'm surprised China isn't in there as well, considering.
China, China. He's all right, isn't he? Carpet there on the in the reserve. Well, not the reserves, but not in the first team today. Don't believe there are any squad numbers there. The most pointless story ever told. I think we're all heading for those tonight, aren't we? Telling pointless stories. Badgers. Notice the respelling I've done there on getting rid of his E that he doesn't have in his name.
Yeah, we're made aware of it.
Yeah, just need to sort of clean up sort of little bits as we go along. Chilavert in goal is always a quality choice there, isn't it? He can play one season without losing any sort of attributes at all, so he should be good. And Jorge Campos on the subs bench there, offering the strikers option as well.
Yeah, both very good keepers, and if you're playing Chilavert, he's got to be on set pieces, hasn't he? For
yeah, I don't think he has been put Chilavert on penalties. Okay, yeah, let's do that right now. Only 2 teams have selected penalty takers this season, and weirdly, they are up against each other now. David Collins is missing for this game with an injury, but it's a decent team, isn't it?
Yeah, very strong. May well be season 1, but Carla Shacks obviously know he's a massive favourite of Scots. Cabello can be very, very good. Very strong on the wings. Obviously, Tato's man up top. This is a very strong team, in my opinion, that's definitely going to be up in the upper echelons of the table come the end of the season.
Yeah, Kevin Kyle, there he is on the bench, ready to do some damage. So why is Lythe spelt wrong? So in the game, he's spelt with the E, but I've removed it because he's the brother of Adam Lythe, who played cricket for Yorkshire, and he doesn't have an E on his name. So that's what it is. I think Lythe played. I think actually Lythe played like second 11 for Yorkshire as well. So he's a decent cricketer. I don't watch cricket myself, but that's just a little pointless story for the day from this one. Anyway, predictions from everyone.
Yeah, unfortunately, I see the Badgers being too strong at this point, and I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1. Didn't know that. Didn't know. Well, now you do. It's all okay. So let's press yes on here. Steve Thompson, captain of Badgers for this game. Nice, interesting prediction from Smuts there. That's anyway. Yeah, I think if you were to predict man of the match while we're waiting for some predictions, who are you going to go for from the off?
Steve Thompson.
Steve Thompson as captain. This is stronger than your Astor side. It's crazy. Then we're going 6-1. Let's see, and 2-1 to ODFC. Let's speed up the commentary. 9-0 says it's at the early chance. Remember, we do watch from this view when it's 2 teams playing against each other, so we can see the ratings as we go along through the game. Subs made at half time and 60 minutes, because this is Smuts' first game in charge of a team, isn't it? Is he the first new manager in today? Have we had a new one playing any of the games?
No, I think it's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, so welcome to your opening game of your Swemp history. It's 1-0 as well, and Anshway scored the goal. He gets it 1-0 heading towards half time. It's a pretty incredible turn up window. There was basically nobody except Fifey going for the back in there. And Carlos Jacks has pulled one back going into half time. A decent first half. Stat wise, Badgers doubling the shots, and especially the shots on target. So well done to him. We will go to Smuts first. That's your stats as it stands. Nobody's below 90%, and you've got a mixture of 6s and 7s. You're going to win the league. So just type in the chat if you've got any subs you want to make. Tando and Gomeni's done nothing tackling wise this half, but he's not played badly, I suppose. What do you reckon, Steve, from the first half performance there?
Yeah, I mean, I think they did very, very well to come out and get a goal. Obviously, like I said beforehand, Chewy can be very dangerous. Maresca on that yellow might just give him a little bit of a worry. So if you want to get sent off, he'll obviously go into the league form. One thing I did notice is that it went extremely deep to 50 minutes.
It did. There was the second game of the day. It's gone to 50 minutes, I think. Yeah.
So considering that they've played 50 minutes and they've conceded a late goal, I think they've held their heads high extremely well so far.
Not bad at all. Just switched over to Badgers, so Tato can have a look and see if he wants to do anything. Obviously, conditions are myth for him. So Rayard and Cabello dipping below 90 is not going to be of any concern there. Not even to me, to be honest. It's not bad. Echiog, of course, from Leddersford's fame these days as well. Do you know it? You've got ZZ Roberts coming off for Kevin Kyle. There we go. That'll be it. Doesn't look like Smuts wants to make any subs, does it, at this point?
Looking at his options, I'm not overly surprised. I think there's only B at home, but I think he's extremely young, isn't he? And
yeah, I mean, I like Jordanos. I do like Jordanos. I'd like to see him get on at some point. But, you know, if Anshway's doing the job, Steve Brooker needs a big 15 minutes here to keep his place as far as I would go. Anyway, Anthony Betterton. Anthony Betterton here is, for me, he is a 97-98 legend. You get him from schoolboy at the very start on a free, and he can do a decent job for any team after 2 or 3 seasons. That's where he was for me. Anyway, second half is underway, and he was going on slow. Not slow commentary. It's all good. When the subs made, it will change to the other manager, so it'll go slow commentary, I bet. But we'll take a little look, and we will go to Smuts early. Hersey has scored to make it 2-1 to Badgers, and that's going to be some food for thought when it comes to making the subs. At this point, Steve Brooker has dropped to a 5, as has Melvin Brown. Brown, who I sort of consider Brown a little bit more of a centre back myself, but yeah, he can probably do a decent job at right back. He is in that position, of course. Kaka's dropped to 85%, but he's fine. A Hersey kiss. Oh, brilliant. Chocolate themed jokes there. Wonderful from Mike. Brooker off for Jordanos. Just let us know if you're done. So if you want a second sub or third even, just let us know about that, and I'll pop over to Tato and show him how his team are getting on. If he wants to make any changes, Cabello and Firmani both on 9s, and Cabello is the one who's dropped lowest on fitness level, potential thigh injury, but he's playing very well. But it is the cup. Does he want to rest him up?
He's a very strong player. So I think it just depends on his options for the season coming and whether he's going to look at giving him that role full time as to whether it might be worth pulling him.
Well, yeah, it's a shame that he's not up a little bit more to go for. Oh, Campos is coming on. Yes, I was going to say about Campos. So we will make these 3 subs being made here: 2 for Tato and 1 for Smuts that still needs making. So Campos is coming on for Carlos Jacks, okay, and to go 2 up front. Cabello through the middle. I assume the arrow wants to stay on, and Kufre for Milevsky. It doesn't matter if they go down to 10 with a key percent off or anything like that, because Welsh. Yeah, I will undo and bring on John Welsh. Good timing for that one. I almost confirmed. There we are. Because, of course, Campos being the sub-keeper, he's already on the pitch. So I have got that in time. Let's go with that. That was everything that needed to be done, wasn't it?
I think that was indeed, mate, yeah.
Yeah, and then the buyer home change for Tando Gomeni. Right. Brilliant. Well, let's get on with the rest of this match. And subs. Yeah, it has gone slow. It does. Well, 2-1 as it stands. Looking like a decent match all round so far. Being the underdog going in front. Then we had the Badgers equalise just before half time. And then going just before the subs getting the goal. Now we've gone quiet for the last half hour of the match. Will we get another goal? Can we get anything else out of this one? Or will 2-1 just be a nice settled finish? Rayad disallowed with an assist there. I think the assist would have been from... who was it? Was it Cabello again? Anyway, it's Hersey, wasn't it? Who would have set him up. 2-1. A decent performance from Badgers without being spectacular. And there are a couple of fives in that lineup for Aussie's Dream. But again... they've done all right, haven't they? And they've not been destroyed.
No, I mean that second half. I think the majority of the text that we saw were Smuts sides, so they give an extremely good account of themselves, considering what looks like limitations with most of the players. So I'd be for a team that I'd probably say, looking at the team on paper, are going to be one of the favourites for being up there. I think he can hold his head high, and I think that's a very, very good debut game.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just take a quick look at them, see how they've done. You know, nobody's been spectacular at winning most of their challenges. In fact, only one player has won more than half of their tackles, and that was Bayerholm, who came on towards the end. But at the same time, you know, they've done a decent job, and Anshwe with 2 shots on target and 1 goal.
No, it's, again, really solid. I think Maresca's probably a little bit hard done to with a 6 completed.
Yeah, potentially so. He made a foul. Does that sometimes count against a player? It can do. Talberg there with 5 interceptions is looking pretty good, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I say, he's got a lot of positives to take from that, and Campos getting a 7 with it and barely touching the ball as well. I think again, all round reasons to be positive about at least making sure they don't finish bottom of the table next season.
It's I think they will find it tricky to finish too high, but if anyone's going to do it, Smuts will do a decent job, will he?
Indeed he will.
Look at Echiog. Solid all the way through there, Echiog. Fimani's done a decent job as well. I didn't even notice the 9 at the end. I did comment on it earlier on, he was doing well. But solid. And Steve Thompson was not man of the match, but was fine as he was. Good opening game there. Campos up front with a 7. So anyway, the final game of the night, no one really cares. We'll just play it on fast, shall we?
Yeah, get it done with, because I see what is going to happen.
What's wrong with you, Martin Jurgensen? He's all right there. Transfer windows at the end of the season, Smuts.
I just don't rate him, full stop. Never really had a good out of him. So, yeah.
3 pink clubs in this division. Like 3 pink clubs in this division, and 2 of them are facing each other right now. So, for your own team, yeah, it's so, as you mentioned, it's your old favourites coming into this, and it's strange when you have to make a clone of John Curtis.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he really came to life. Were it 97, 98 where he were really, really good?
He was, yeah, he was a very good player on that one. Pick him up about 1.2 million usually.
Yeah, and he was very, very good again on CM3, and I think he was a little bit hard done to, but he still does plays very well on here. Again, it's not the strongest teams, but it should have enough to at least pick a couple of decent results up on way somewhere down the line.
I think there's one player in this team that I have absolutely no idea about, and it's Andrew Martin. Never seen him, but he looks good.
Yeah, he's decent. He's one I used to sign. So it was like people that I used to sign on 0102 when I first did my concept after playing CM3, before you knew of your Adolfos and your blah-de-blahs. Did have David Collins in there, but I took him out just because he's a bit of a freak, which it came to prominence with me on CM3 at Burnley, and his stats far outweigh everything that they are on this one. But yeah, I just thought, let's make it as weak as.
He's like a good Carl Lieburn, isn't he? That's how I describe Martin, the good Carl Lieburn.
He's very good at top. I've got a save going with Ailes Owen where I holidayed for a year, and he's scored nearly 40 goals 2 seasons on bounce. So he's pretty decent.
Hales Owen, is that where Andy Mannering starts? At Hales Owen, somewhere like that. He was good on CM3 as well. Definitely a good player, Captain Mannering.
Yeah, he was indeed. But like I said, there were so many that you could have gone to. Sean Devine up top. Like I said, Tom Young's, Trevor Benjamin was superb on CM3. Jamie Shaw, Andy Duncan at Cambridge. Cambridge had a really, really good team.
Yes, they did. Yeah, my CM3 favourites were Bristol Rovers and Walsall.
Yeah, even then, your Mark Smiths, Steve Fosters, Jamie Shaws, they were all unreal. And Byron Bubb as well at Millwall.
Yes, Millwall. Byron Bubb, the model and actor, or whatever he is nowadays.
Well, that's interesting. No, not something I knew that.
Oh, yes, he is. I think he's more of an extra, but yeah, model. Yeah, that's what he was doing last time I noticed. Last time Quinton spotted it for me. Anyway, yeah, so Esporting Clube Divisionale versus you're also in squad numbers, aren't you?
Yeah, just go for it, mate. Yeah.
Versus CSCP Boston, Locomotive Boston's sister club, and here we are to see a squad full of former Italians, now Swedish.
Yeah, that defence is very, very strong. And obviously David Day behind him, very good. Sandro Quas is just an absolute monster. At DMC just kicks everything in front of him. I know Greaves has got a lot of love for Amore.
That's a lovely one there.
But yeah, I mean, I do like Sandro Quas. I think on the 2005 update of the database, he's a free agent. He's always decent to pick up for a couple of seasons, and obviously everybody knows what Montella's about. It's very strong, very, very strong.
Missing the Italian. I suppose, which one there? Olaf Peruzzi. It would be him or Nazareno Tarantino, one of those two kind of players. These are going to be squad number picked, so I will be sorting that out. In fact, what we'll do is we'll head to this. It's nice to see a former Super League champion, meaning we now have 2 former Super League champions live this season, just as we did last season as well, with Greavesy joining us for this one. So let's see, we've got David Day at 1, 2 is Panucci, Getty is in the squad there for 3, Firmani is 4, Baldini at 5, 6 is Bonomi, who's not in the team, 7 is Amore, 8 is Conticchio, but he's not in, 9, 10, Zauli at 10, Maresca. should have remembered. He's been talking about Maresca all day. Flacky at 11. Then who else? We've got Storari 16. Materazzi is number 13.
16 for a sub goalkeeper is just
it's
right.
The French style, isn't it? French goalkeepers, French league rules, numbers 1, 16 and 30 for goalkeepers, which is why they've made an absolute mockery of it by letting Messi take number 30. That's
Ah,
I find that it's the first time the rule's been broken, and it's doing me head in. Montella is number 19, I believe. He's come in as a late change. Well, not late beyond the deadline or anything, but for Schwok. Who else is in here? Scarchilli, 23. Sorry, I'm going very slowly on it. It's building up the tension for the game. Thinking just get on with it. Vasari, 22. Now you call him Quath, don't you? But I was of the assumption he was called Cois. But we shall see. Always called him Cois for years, but I don't know. Torricelli, 20. And Duccio Innocenti is number 18. There we go. He did it months ago, and it's nice for me. I enable it because I do it myself. I can't just have it for myself, can I? Anyway, predictions for this one. Should be a good one to end the day.
Just hope Evan Morris keeps himself running backwards with his electric pace that he's got. And but yeah, I can't see any positive result in this.
No, I can't see anything positive. I'm looking forward to this one. 2-2 from Smuts, and Button does it all for you. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do it right. Doesn't do it right. I have specific things I like to see. 3-2 to Divisionale for prediction there from Dimble, backing his mates. Yeah, I quite like your away kit there, Steve, despite its obvious links to Leeds United.
Obvious Dudley away kit as well.
And Leddersford home.
It is indeed.
Anyway, for predictions, Tato going 4-0 to Boston, and Mike going 2-2 as well. And let's get going for our final match of the day. And it's been an interesting start so far. There has been some action. There's not been many shots. Shellstrom takes an early yellow card for Divisionale, but penalty turned down at that point. Another chance has gone begging, and the Casa de Merda, this stadium name, which Greasy didn't give me a stadium name. I decided to call it this myself. I'm pretty sure most of you will be able to work out what the stadium name is without using Google Translate.
Home of murder.
It's a something house. What do you think it is?
Shit house.
Yep. So I thought let's go for the Italian version. Still 0-0 here, almost at half time. Late chance, and Flacky has scored to open the scoring just before half time. Sadly, misses the target. 1-0 at half time. With, well, they have edged it. It's got to be said. Possession wise, they've actually been doing pretty much 60% almost of the game so far. Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? We'll just go over to Boston first of all. Tell us what you think about their performance, and Greaves, you can think of his subs if he wants any at this point.
Yeah, it's solid. Like I say, what I expected. The annoying thing is we face them first game of the season as well, proper, which is just doubling up on shithousery.
Oh, have you got? I haven't checked the actual first set of league games because after I messed up the save, then I didn't come back to that bit. So yeah, we'll check the fixtures for the league just as before we finish.
I can't remember if it were Greaves's or mine that I clicked on. I think it were mine.
And a double header.
And you third.
So how about yourself? What are you thinking for your team and your subs?
I'll Sherco for Sadler, please.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's a good job. There's no player instructions there, so I can click on these at will with my right clicking. I'm so prone to doing.
Can I bring Stalkers on for Karlstrom and swap him with a Stye, please?
Yes. There we are. So, old Fulham legend Anders Stoltz is coming on. Here we go to it's slowed down again. Just does it either at half time. Oh, any subs that are made, it switches over, doesn't it? Brilliant. Anyway, at this point, it's looking 2-0. Montella has the goal. I didn't check who made the assist in the first half. You might have caught it, Steve. I certainly didn't actually comment on it, so I'll have a little look and see how they're getting on at this point. Subs are going to be made, and, well, they've played very well, haven't they, Boston?
Yeah, they've been. It looks like, to be fair, they've had to be a little bit better than I saw in little bits of testing, which obviously pleases me a little bit. And it shows David Day's on and now. It shows we're putting a bit of pressure on. So yeah, it's nothing disheartening at all.
No, I'd say so. He was a finalist in the Division 1 Player of the Year last season, wasn't he, David Day? So
he was.
He did do a quality job. Cois there on a bit of an injury. Firmani is coming on to replace him. And just let us know if you want anything else, Screws, at this point. You can do. We'll just go over to Steve. Do you want a third change? Looking at how your team are doing and considering what you've got left on the bench.
Yeah, there's nothing too could we just bring Stolchis central and stick Martin up with Sherko, please?
Yeah. So go for the two up top.
Yeah. And the Keats can go on next time we play him.
Keats is going to play next game. So, there we are. Yep, happy with that.
Indeed.
Let's see how it is. Sherko's had a chance. He's come close. And then Stoltz's as well coming. Chances is looking more positive for Divisionale. But at this point, 2-0 is looking very, very good for Boston. It's a penalty and a goal from Materazzi from the spot. And Amore makes it 4. This is a stuffing. The in-game formation changes. The in-game formation changes are absolutely fine. Tactical changes will be made by managers, really, so it's okay. Not that it has anything to do with you. Well, it does. Sherko pulls one back just before full time. It has everything to do with everyone. We're all part of this together. Zauli, man of the match. Take a quick look at the match stats. Both teams with 9 shots on target, and Divisionale just not getting theirs. All their shots to the target.
Is there a common theme happening here? My team. From last season to this.
Well, last season your team weren't shooting.
Every time we did, we couldn't put it in, and then there's the other league, shall we say, where it's happening. But you know what? I think it's been extremely even. I don't think we deserve 4 more there. Really, we couldn't understand.
Just more clinical shooting, isn't it? And
David
Day playing so well.
When you've got second best striker in the league behind Mpenza in your team, you're always going to be a threat. So,
a real good goal scoring performance for Boston, a team that need to be considered from that game as a contender.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at that, we haven't been that good either. So to put all that pressure on and not be that good, I think we can take a few positives from that.
Yeah. Next game, maybe a different setup, maybe the same, and just the players performing on the day. So, quick look at the results, see if there's anything else extremely interesting going on. Not really. I don't think many of you will have spotted a team that are lying around in Division 1, and I'm going to draw your attention to them at this point. I was hoping they'd be in the Cup, but they're not. They've been knocked out before this. Mike Savage just saying, what do we think of the no centre-backs? They only conceded 1. Mental, says Dimble. The jury is out, certainly, on that. The no centre-back approach. It could be a masterstroke, it could be, but I genuinely don't know whether it's madness or there's a point to it. I'm just going to, like I said, I'll go to this Division 1 side. Asiriska, you this, apart from a couple of signs like Fegler and such like, and Dormaz, this is a team that Quinton and I put together, featuring some absolute stars of world football here, such as the Pedro Vieira for this team, and Ronaldo looking fantastic there as a striker. This, who I actually totally forgot, was actually Christian Vieri's brother.
You can get pretty good on the game as well.
Here's one of my favourite names of a player, Maxim Shevchenko. It's a mixture of stars. Ricardo Peruzzi. It's just a quality team. And of course, Walter Samuel's replacement, Jay Lloyd.
Who again on TM3 was extremely good, but you can't risk the state of him on 0-1 or 2.
No, it's got to be said. But yeah, we had some fun putting that little team together. But we were hoping that they'd be in the cup to play against one of these. Thierry Henry's replacement, Libert Henry. It's just a lovely set. Obviously, Olsen has come in as a youth player or something for that. Yeah, Paulo Cannavaro is Fabio's brother indeed, yeah. And I like to sign him for teams if I could before, but I don't think 0-1-2 was. I think he was better on the 0.68, but I haven't played that one for a long, long time. And Shay Campbell. So into the fixtures for the Woodard here with his danglies there. So let's go into the Premier Division. Looking at the fixtures for the first round, we got Dinamo Megahorse versus Blues. So a big one there. Gondor Fortuna. We'll see Quinton's side for the first time this season. Next week we got Aussie's Dream versus Flamingos. Now that is a local derby, isn't it? Straight away for the sides of Smuts and Fifey. That'll be a key one.
I fear for Mr. Smuts in that game with that ridiculously strong squad that's in Division 2.
Yeah, in fact, because people might not have seen some of this, just a quick click through the ones here. What's the most interesting bit about this one is, of course, that the players have been picked from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way through to X and Y, Z, and that's where the teams come from there for Fortuna Deflection. Featuring Divock Origi's dad. There he is. He's actually got a 10 out of 20 for goalkeeping. So whether he'll play there this season or not, it remains to be seen. But it's a good little concept there from Quinton, featuring one of the worst players you could possibly ever have. Not Koe, but a Nazi. There he is. Not very good at all. He's a bit like Eble, isn't he, goalkeeper wise? Who else is in here then? Flamingos. It's a strong team with some interesting players in there, and of course Danny Invincibile. There he is, Mr. Invincible, as he is.
If that team does not win this league, somebody needs to have a long hard look in the mirror at themselves.
I still think they could be beaten. I think Fifey's picked a very strong side, but I think it's beatable. And Fraser Bremner has transferred from Otis to Flamingos. Looking good there for this season. Then we got Pelham versus Badgers. So the Grimsby concept side from Dimble with one of my David Nielsen. I enjoyed managing him when I was Wimbledon manager. So it's good, and also the fact that he plays Roy Cropper in Coronation Street.
I think there is some really strong players in there. Stuart Elliott, obviously everybody knows Alan Powell, and Stuart Elliott is an absolute assist machine. Jamie Forrester, another one that I could have quite easily put in from CM3, who were absolutely phenomenal on that as well. Michael Appleton, for me, is a dark horse on this game. Sometimes he gets some really big...
Is he a mega horse?
Well, quite indeed. And Milo Vellum...
Your old spooner is in there, Lenny.
I signed him for the first time. I've seen him loads, obviously. I signed him for the first time a couple of months back on a save, and very, very impressed with him. So I think that squad's a little bit stronger than Mr. Dimble might try and lead you to believe.
Tato saying he's got to go. Very happy you're back. People in chat, keep your eyes peeled for a CM pod coming out soon. I am already ready for that one when it comes out, and thanks for being here, Tato. A big Leicester fan Roy Cropper. Is that a fact, or is that just actually a lovely bit of made up stuff? I mean, I like it either way, to be honest. And Ivano Benetti, I've taken off his coaching abilities, but so that he won't get poached by another team for this season. Who else have we got? We've got the next match of Red West Pacific versus Grove. This is the Iron Curtain replacement. People's Army of the Red West Pacific. And what a team that is going to be. There's a couple of unhappy players already because they want a new challenge, just in the same way Frank Rost wants one at Mega Horse.
New challenge. It's interesting.
Yeah, there's been 4 or 5 players in the division want a new challenge already. Yeah, we've got Divisionale versus Boston, so swapping stadium for this time round. And Sprungfelt versus Danglies, who Danglies, of course, as we're onward, features a left back Colo Torre. Well, at least he's been picked as a defender this time, with 1 for tackling.
Graceful.
And let's have a look at who's in the rest of the team. I've gone to the. Could have clicked to reserves, isn't it?
I think he as well. He's a bit cheeky as well, getting that absolute menace Delroy Facey in. Everybody knows what he's capable of on this game when he plays against you as well. But I like it that some that team won't be getting laughed at like it did last season.
And I've taken out the because it's Jose Rene Higuita, isn't it, in the game? And so I've just made it back to Rene for that.
But for 35-year-old,
he looks a decent keeper. Does look good. Yeah, it'll be an interesting side. And I think Danglies will be better than last season. So that's the games for next Monday night. I will just make sure this is saved, and I'll update the save. But for me tonight, my task following on from this is to work very, very hard on making Division 1 save out ASAP. Just had a little bit of teething problems, but it's back working, but it needs to be updated again. Luke McCormick and Lee Hughes both killed someone. Yes, they did. And I think Flores as well. I'm not sure about Flores, but he might have done. Anyway, thank you for everyone for being here tonight, and we look forward to next time out. Steve, thank you very much for opening both seasons as my co-commentator.
Oh, yeah. Didn't even think of that. No, always a pleasure, mate, and looking forward to not being joint in terms of everything in the game and being shithoused again.
Yes, indeed. And make sure as well you watch Super League, which is it happening Wednesday this week as it stands?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I don't think it's all been said. I think it was just a little bit mixed up by a couple of people. I think Maka was talking personally his own time, and I think obviously Fifey said he hadn't heard out from Ryan. So yeah, fingers crossed there will be a show Wednesday night. Either
way, make sure you're watching this season. It's been a great opening to the Super League, especially for Leathersford. Anyway, up the Swemp. And your voice is sent a little one to sleep. We do have lovely tones, don't we? Anyway, good night all. And we'll see you again. One of us. Yes, you. We'll see you again soon. Good night.
See you, chaps.